Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Turin here with another Warhammer Total War live battlecast. In this particular game, we are going to play the Beastmen against the Empire, so it definitely should be a good time. Looks like my opponent has locked in already, and we're actually going to go with the Lord Beast here. We're going to get the double Flock of Doom, which I think is pretty good because a lot of Empire builds are very dependent on kind of mass infantry, halberdiers, those type of things that are relatively low tier and are definitely very heavily affected by that. So, of course, Gore Bull is very, very important. We're going to go with Gore Herds here, go a little bit high tier, and let's see, do we want to get Harpies? Harpies are pretty decent. Granted, you know, the Empire Air Force can deal with them pretty well, but I think getting 2 Harpies just to have that backline pressure is very, very good. So on top of that, we're also going to get 2 Centaurs with great weapons. We're going to get some Hounds to support those guys. And let's see, do I want to cut one group of these Gore Herds here? I feel like having like a Minotaur would be really, really nice. Let's see. It's a tough choice, boys, tough choice. I've actually seen some people use the Razor Gore Herds to decent effect as well lately, so that's been pretty cool to actually see that in action. We could actually just get some Ungors with spears for the back line, and then just put some Chevrons in our infantry. So if he decides to, you know, get a little crazy with some Demogryph Knights or things like that, hopefully those spears will do a decent job holding that down. And I have the Gore Bull. I also have those Centaurs with great weapons, and of course Morgur, more importantly, is going to be extremely good in this matchup. You know, a lot of, you know, low tier infantry. I mean, I doubt I'm going to see swordsmen, but halberdiers, you know, they get chunked pretty quickly, and I mean, not quickly, but they're a relatively low tier unit that you can whittle down and, you know, get that nice Essence of Chaos summon off them. So it's harder against, you know, factions like the dwarves who are very sturdy, and it takes a long time to whittle down the HP. So the ability definitely isn't as good in that matchup. But let's go ahead and get our front line of Gore Herds here. Just kind of pretty simple. I mean, in terms of Beastmen formations, I usually just have this kind of meat spin front line here, and we'll see how that goes. And we're going to put these guys right here. We're going to just put kind of spears in the wings in case he tries to any funny business with like Demogryph Knights or, you know, Empire Knights, whatever, you know, he decides to bring. But hopefully my this little kind of group here that I have, the Centaurs with great weapons with the Poison Hounds, they actually do really well in most matchups, in my opinion. You know, even against Demogryph Knights, you know, break the charge with the Hounds or even send some Harpies in, and then follow up with these guys who have pretty heavy hitting armor piercing damage for how much you're paying. And of course, you can detach like a Gore Bull and have it run with them. And, you know, the Gore Bull itself has, you know, what, 60 speed. And if you're using the Foe Seeker, it's almost as fast as a lot of Cav. So I'm definitely a big fan of that. So we'll just deploy over here. You know, I guess you could go in the center to, you know, mitigate fire. But then when you march through these rocks, it kind of screws up your formation a little bit. So I'm just going to stay out here. And I really do love the addition of Harpies. They have really hard-hitting weapon strength against low armored units like crossbowmen and, you know, handgunners. But also on that same note, they have pretty pathetic melee attack. So they don't make contact the most. So I found that like trying to swarm like enemy heroic units with them, a lot of times they just miss. You know, if the defensive capabilities of that other unit are really high. So we'll see how this goes. So I do have the Staff of Ruinous Corruption, which is going to be pretty darn good. I mean, Morgur is so strong. And in a lot of matchups, he's pretty beast mode, especially, no pun intended. Against the Wood Elves, he's really good because he does have pretty substantial magic resistance, if I'm not mistaken. So 75%. So you guys have probably seen some of my games and been like, oh, how is he taking no damage? It's well, because their entire army is doing magic damage usually. So we're just going to march this way. I hate that rock. You see what I'm talking about, guys? It's kind of an OCD thing for me. So we're going to move this way, just move our Cav here. And it looks like he has, what did he have? Some Royal Altdorf Griffites and some Demogryph. Wow, he went heavy duty on that. And you see, guys, this is beautiful right here. All these handgunners and other units that I can, you know, really just kind of Flock of Doom to death, no pun intended. And we're just going to go here. And let's see, how do we want to handle these Knights over here? So yeah, I'll probably just use this force and detach a Gore Bull because I'm not going to want a Gore Bull in this front line. And it looks like he kind of is scurrying over here to get the high ground on the hill, which is pretty smart. So we'll just take a more direct route, which should be fine. And we'll get these Harpies ready to go. And probably what we'll do is actually let's fly the Harpies up and around like that. Pull these guys here. But I would love to have the Harpies to break the charge. Maybe some of these guys. But still, these Demis and other units and Altdorf Griffites will terrify them so quickly. So it's definitely not something I want to be doing. And it looks like he's swinging around this way. So I actually want to meet him with those. And we'll detach the Gore Bull here in a moment. So my apologies for the lag. It is the unfortunate consequence of a lot of these kind of live battlecast type games. So he has a lot of handgunners though, quite a bit. He has a light wizard too, so I'm expecting to get netted down. But thankfully the Gore Herds do have shields, so I mean they can take a beating for a little while. So could be worse, guys. Could be much worse. So we're gonna pull these guys up here. We'll probably get Gore Bull, put him in group 2, just kind of move them over here because the Gore Bull will really help with the anti-large bonus, and that's honestly one of the most cost-effective areas I could have him in. And if need be, I mean I could come in and, you know, jump, you know, get a nice rear charge with the Harpies here, and you know, hopefully see how that pans out. So we got our forces charging in. We do have quite a wide formation, so hopefully he doesn't net us right now before our forces split up. That would definitely suck pretty bad. So we're going to go over here. The Harpies, how do we want to do this? We probably want to just park them over here, and I want to wait a little longer because right now we have that 1 to 6 ratio for the Winds of Magic. So let's actually just, you know, get the engagement going essentially. So I'm taking a lot of missile fire, which is okay. I mean, that's what these units are for. I mean, they're definitely designed to be dumpstered. So we're going to go here just like so, and yeah, I feel like we got to just get started on this while he's pumped up. So we're going to get a nice Flock of Doom there. And we'll get a nice one over here as well. So it might have been a little bit of an overlap there, which is unfortunate, but we're going to posture these guys up. We're going to send the Harpies in here, so we'll get one Harpy here and one Harpy here. So far, so good, guys. We'll get Morker right here in the front line, and we'll use that nice little apocalyptic vision going right there. And he does get a nice net, but I mean, it's not the best. So we're going to pull these guys around here, and pull these guys around over to the Cav fight as well. So the Poison Warhounds and everyone's getting in position. I don't want to engage too aggressively right here. I mean, I don't mind playing the waiting game. The longer these demis aren't fighting, the better for me. So we do have the spears coming over here as well. Gorbel and all the other guys are going to get in there, and we do have the Staff of Ruinous Corruption right now. So how do we want to summon this? Yeah, so we're going to summon them right here in this back line. He is netted right now, which is unfortunate, so he doesn't have quite that same range. So we're going to pull these guys here. We got the Staff of Ruinous Corruption. We got some of these homeboys right here, so we'll probably pull these into these handgunners right here. So over in the Cav battle, it's going okay. He did get his spears over there, which is a little bit tough, but we're going to get a nice Flock of Doom right here on this front line. Make sure to get these troops engaged, and I don't care about the overcast damage that much on those guys. So the Harpies are doing a great job, and you can see I was able to get some spears around the back. Right now, we also got to stay on top of the Spirit Essence of Chaos. So we want to look for really low units and just kind of constantly keep tabs, because that's something you really, really need to do well, in my opinion. So over here, we're doing quite good, I would say. So I'm just going to go back to the main line. Nothing to really stress about over here. No one's quite low enough to get with this yet, but hopefully the Harpies and, the other units here, why aren't these guys engaged? Get in there. What are you guys doing? Quit messing around. So right now we're doing good. It looks like the demis are we're going to pull back just a little bit there and go back to the front line. We want to get someone really badly with this, and it looks like we almost can get this group here. This group, there we go. So we got a group, so we're feeling good, guys. We're going to keep pushing back here. Harpies, again, doing an excellent job over here. We're going to kind of detach and go after these guys. We're able to pull back here and get a nice little detach. So we're going to pull over here, kind of regroup, and look up, and we almost have enough for another Flock of Doom here. So the main force is actually pushing through. We're able to get back on these missile units here. Want to check, make sure these Chaos Spawn are fighting effectively. So we'll pull them in here to get on the flank, and let's get the heroic units over here as well. So we can actually just go get that Warrior Priest. That's probably fine. So over here, the Demogryph Knights and the other guys, I'm not sure where they went. Did they just get evaporated? They might have. So interestingly enough, we might be able to get through the seam here. It looks like he has some Free Company Militia. We want to use that buffs, make sure we're constantly on top of that. And over here, we're able to crumble them pretty hard. So we're going to just pull these guys up over the hill, just like so. We're able to kind of split the seam there a little bit, get into the back pocket, and then we want to just keep pushing through. Looks like he actually has the silver bullets there, so definitely very strong. So let's use this Flock of Doom here. And also, something I've been forgetting to do is make sure to use that regeneration. And we almost have enough for another Chaos Spawn summon, which is going to be really nice here. And looks like the Chaos Spawn are kind of rolling dirty. They're going to get in there, and they're so good in this matchup. I really, really like them. My opponent uses a nice little net here, is able to lock me down, but I think most of my forces are running relatively rampant in his back line. It looks like he does still have some Royal Altdorf Gear fights, and we'll use these guys to chase down any of those broken units. But Chaos Spawn, pretty good in the Empire matchup, because a lot of their infantry are fairly low armored, so you're not going to suffer that same consequence. So let's get here on the Light Wizard. And how's Gorbel doing? I think he's doing pretty well for himself. Let me click him. Oh, it looks like he is netted, so we'll have him finish off this Light Wizard here in just a moment. Morker over here is just stomping the yard, doing his thing. Using the Harpies to make sure guys aren't coming back. Let's get these spears over here, and we do have the Stab of Ruinous Corruption, so let's actually just use it right on the back line here. That should be enough to really, crumble this front line. That's honestly one of the last pockets he has going. So let's just use our mobile forces to shut down his wizard here. Morker, probably just use it right here. Actually, it's fine. We can use it on these demis here, and that should be a pretty good kind of solution to that problem. We have enough for another Flock of Doom, but honestly, he doesn't have that big of a pocket of infantry anymore. So let's pull these guys over here. And it looks like my other wizard actually got killed at some point during the battle, and the Empire captain or general has gone down. So that looks like it's all she wrote for our Empire opponent. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that game. I really like the Beastmen versus Empire matchup. He had a pretty interesting army. He actually had 2 warrior priests, but the nets were okay. He had a very kind of big back line of targets, though, which were really nice for my Harpies. And since he didn't have a flying deterrent, I was able to run pretty rampant back there. But the 2 Demogryph Knights, if you guys just get 2 Centaurs with great weapons and Chaos Warhounds, and then also mix them in with a Gorbel, you can get so much done with that. I mean, you guys saw they held up really well, and then, able to detach a group of Ungors, just throw some fodder in there against the demis, and you'll be, in pretty good shape. But let's see, as far as my opponent's army goes, some of these spears actually racked up quite a few kills. I mean, but again, if you look at the Gore Herds, those guys really put in a lot of work. And for how much you're paying, they have pretty good combat stats. And if I'm not mistaken, they also have a pretty good charge bonus. The Free Company Militia actually performed pretty well considering 33 kills. So they actually got a lot more kills than some of these handgunners, which was pretty funny to see. But anyways, good game to my opponent on Dante. I look forward to seeing you again on Ladder. And hope you guys enjoyed this Beastcast. Have an excellent night and take care.